LeeMichaelsVoices.com presents The Lee Michaels Show.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
What's on your mind? Politics, entertainment news, current events.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
From all over the world. And topics all over the spectrum.
I'm talking front page story all over the world. It shook up men, women, boys, and girls. The headlines read, if you want to be rich, then you better make sure that you got your shit. Oh, come on.
Lee and Carol are taking your calls now.
Call now.
Hit it.
424-227-9461. Call 424-227-9461 and let the power of your voice be heard. Live, worldwide, on the Power of Voices Radio.
It's in the streets.
Yeah.
Headlines. Headlines.
And now your host,
Who?
Lee Michaels.
Oh, not that idiot. No, not again. I thought Trump eliminated him. How did he come in again? Good morning, world. Yes, the world is still here, in spite of the fact that Donald Trump is going to be your next president. As I stated before, it's not going to come to an end, regardless of who wins or loses. So here we are, the day after Election Day 2016. My lights came on, the water was working, I was able to take a shower, and I shaved. The dogs are still barking, the birds are still singing and flying. So the world has not come to an end.
Yeah, but it didn't stop me from crying.
Well, that's fine. And I didn't cry, but I'm emotional. I'm disappointed. I'm surprised. There's a lot of emotions that are running through everyone around the world. And shortly after it was pretty much known that Donald Trump is going to be the next president, the stock market around the world began to go down, and it opened up this morning kind of flat. So that there is an international reaction to what happened here in America on yesterday. But I'll say it again. The world is not going to come to an end. The United States of America is not going to fall off a cliff
You're right.
and disappear. We have lost and we have won, and we don't always agree with the outcome. This one is a little bit different, however, because the leader of the free world has never had any experience in politics. Now, a lot of you voted for that reason. I'm saying to you, that is a little dangerous. Now, if he is smart, and if the people who are around him are smart, and they surround him with the right cabinet members, I guess life will not be so bad. And that's the if that I'm concerned about. Because when you have people like Rudy Giuliani around you, I think he's a criminal. And a few days before the message came out from the FBI indicating that they were reopening, which they never closed, but they were going to look further into these emails, that, my friend, I think caused a lot of damage to this election. And I think that in itself is criminal. It was wrong. Rudy was on Fox TV 2 days before that announcement was made, before that letter went to Congress. He knew. He got the heads up. Did Rudy have something to do with that? Rudy used to be Kami's boss. So I'm asking questions because I have concerns. In the studio this morning, of course, my partner in crime here, Carol. You okay, Carol?
Well, I'm okay. My big thing is, why would we let a man be our president if he's a pedophile? Why isn't he being brought to court? And what about the taxes we haven't seen?
Well, you're probably not going to ever see that.
No, but I have a problem with being a pedophile.
I do too.
I'm sorry. People that have
I
had
do
that
too.
happen, you never forget it.
I agree with you 100%.
But I guess I don't know if it's a color thing because I've seen in the last year how many young white men that have raped girls have gotten away with it. And I seen where a young black man did the same thing that they did, and he got 15 years in prison. So
Yeah.
that kind of bothers me. And
Well, you
I'm
know,
hoping that he will change this.
he
I'm
ran-
hoping he will.
he ran on the platform that he's for the people and he's going to do this. He's going to eliminate Obamacare. He's going to build a wall.
Well, that's not for the people then.
Well, but the people spoke. He won the Electoral College. I understand that maybe he did not win the popular vote. Now, I have not seen those numbers.
I have the numbers.
Did he win the popular vote
No,
as
he
well?
didn't.
Okay, so what we see here is the people spoke, but the Electoral College elected him. Also in the studio with us this morning is Tamara Daniels, who is the host of Families from Crisis to What?
Healing.
And what do we need, Reverend?
Healing.
Put your hands up and wave them in the
Woo,
air.
Can I get an amen?
So we're going to talk with her, and also on the phone. Do we have who do we have on the phone with us?
Uncle Lee,
Yes, sir.
this is Joel D.
Joel, what's up, Joel? How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man.
You're alive and kicking, I see.
I am alive, and I can't tell you where I want to do the kicking, but I'm alive.
We also have someone else on the phone. Who do we have?
It's Frankie.
Hey, Frankie.
Hi,
wow.
Frankie.
We got a full house here. Okay, so Frankie and Joel, if you guys will hang on here, I want to talk to Reverend Daniels here and get her insight and her reflections and wisdom as to how to deal with the outcome of this election. I'm not going to say loss. I'm going to say the outcome, because even though Hillary Clinton did not win, she won. Okay? So I'm not going to deal with loss in that fashion. I want to deal with how do we move forward from here? What's your advice, Tamara?
Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm so glad you already interjected the word healing, but and thank you for your affectionate term, Reverend. I am not a reverend.
Well, you're closer to a reverend than I am.
But let's just say that I'll be the spiritual voice for the
That's
hour.
right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It was an interesting outcome. I think I might agree with you that it is not a loss. It is still a win because she became the first female candidate of
Ever.
a national party.
Right.
And she, I believe, like many of her supporters, has lived her whole life trying to make a difference
Right.
in our country and in America. I just think that she was at the wrong time once again. She is a 20th century candidate. And I think that America is looking for a 21st century change. I think that President Obama tipped the iceberg there when he came in 2008. And he was all about, those adjectives as well. But Hillary is just got an old coat at a new dance, if you will, or an old
Interesting.
step.
Interesting. I never looked at it that way, but I did say 16 months or 18 months. Well, actually, I said it 4 years ago. The next president of the United States had to win the 18 to 34 vote. But at least the numbers that I saw late last night, he didn't necessarily win that category to a large degree. Hillary did better in the younger vote. Maybe that's why she won the popular vote, but not the Electoral College. And I think the Electoral College, Michigan, Ohio, Florida, North Carolina, and Wisconsin, those were the upsets. And I think that while Ohio and Michigan, North Carolina and Florida were pandered to by both candidates heavy, especially towards the end, I think it was actually too late because of that second report when Comey came out with, we're opening this up, we found some new information. what was that, 8 or 9 days before Election Day. And then the day before he came back and said, April Fool, there was nothing there.
Right.
I think that had a tremendous impact on this.
I
outcome.
agree to an extent, but I don't think that was the only impact. I think that everyone, media, posters, Democrats, you and me, underestimated, didn't even look at that quiet but afraid group
Yep.
of the population who did not want to say that they were going to vote for Trump.
Oh, no doubt. They were closet voters.
They were
definitely.
closet supporters.
Yep.
Then you had that rural
Rural.
fabric of
Yep.
America who no one counted to go for Trump at all.
Right.
I mean, listen, just like there were people in Obama's era of 2008 in his election, there were white Republicans, there were Catholics, there were all these groups that would normally go Republican, and they just quietly whispered, Barack, we're with you.
Right.
I think people were quietly whispering, Trump,
Yeah.
we're with you.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing for me that I'm still wrestling with. And hello to my baby girl Sarah. I know you're having a hard time today, baby. But as Poppy said to you in a text last night, be cool. It's gonna be okay. And don't let the people at your job get under your skin, especially your boss. She's going through some stuff down in Texas. So need I say more? So just be cool. You know who you are. Keep it real. But listen, here's what Trump did very well. He played on the fears of the uneducated, the already beat down, poor, fearful. There are a lot of emotions he pulled on. White people, male and female, predominantly male, who's already in this tailspin of losing his power. And I'm not saying this, from a racist tone. I'm just speaking the truth. The projections are, and I've been saying this often on this show, that in the next 20 years, the white person is no longer going to be the majority in this country. It is predicted that it's going to be the Asians. And there are a number of Asians coming into this country, legally and illegally, but nobody ever talks about them. All we hear about is the illegal Latinos. Well, the Latinos are not going to be the majority of the population. The blacks are not going to be. It's going to be the Asians, and they're coming here with money. They're buying up a lot of the real estate. Probably half of Las Vegas is owned by Chinese. Now, I'm not saying we shouldn't allow it, but if we're going to have double standards, or we shouldn't have double standards, most countries around the world, you're not allowed to come in and buy property and own 100% of it. You can lease it, or you have to have a native involved in it in terms of ownership. We don't practice that. I don't know if that's good or bad, but
on that point alone, that's why Trump is favored.
Exactly.
Because he probably will not allow those kinds of transactions.
I don't know how he's going to stop it, though. He can campaign on that, but I don't know if you can turn this battle group around and change those kind of things that's so
Well, he can't do it in
embedded.
4 years. He probably will need 2 terms to do it. But that was the kind of commentary he was selling.
Yeah.
And I really am in agreement with that. I often have wondered, why does America give away everything and get nothing in return?
I agree. I agree.
Our trade policies are one-sided.
They are.
So,
But, and they blame Bill Clinton for NAFTA, but there have been Republicans after him that didn't change it.
Right.
There were Republicans before him that were in favor of it. They had the opportunity to vote against it and change it, and they didn't.
You had Ronald Reagan, who was big on deregulation, and now the banks took us for everything.
That's right. The banking industry, the airline industry, the broadcast industry. He initiated the the whole concept of deregulating our industries. And with that, what I'm fearful of is whether or not this new administration, with the control of the House and the Senate, are going to do things like privatize Medicare and privatize everything else that is not
Right.
for their own benefit.
It didn't work out too well with the prisons.
Well, yeah, but
Now
they're making
they pulled
money.
that back.
Yeah,
Well, but they've pulled it back as they saw it didn't work out too well.
exactly.
You cannot privatize every single thing.
Well, they're going to try, and this is the kind of leader that I'm concerned about now with Donald Trump, because we know the conniving guy that he is, and if he's allowed to operate the United States of America the way he has operated his companies, that's a concern for me. And I'm only speaking from my own perspective. That's a concern because the government doesn't work like that. It can't. You cannot not pay your bills, okay? You can't go out and get a contract and say, oh, well, yeah, I know I agreed and I signed a contract. I'm going to pay you $100,000 for these pianos, but I'm only going to give you $70,000. You can't do that.
Okay, let me play devil's advocate, which rarely would I like to even use that term.
Right.
However, but, there has not been a man in this case that has risen to the highest office in the land with clean hands.
Right.
Even Barack's hands were dirty to an extent. You can't get to the highest office with clean hands.
Okay.
By virtue of the definition of that whole pathway, you have got to be wheeling and dealing, skipping and dipping, lying and cheating to even get there. Maybe on a low level, maybe on a high level, but your hands are not going to be clean. So I'm not from the level of the bleachers that seat that says, well, you know what, he cheated and he did this and that. I don't like it. No, I agree. But if I were to have the power to peer into all of their hearts, I would find some things that were very, very unkind, unfavorable, ungodly. And that goes for all of our hearts. I mean, when I think about the thoughts sometimes that I have to pull back, if they were suddenly flashed up on a billboard, I would be ashamed, right? Because I'm human and I have this heart. And this heart is wicked, the Bible says, and evil continually, and who can know it?
Right.
I know that Trump has done some shady stuff. Yeah. Hillary's done some shady stuff, too. I'm not looking for a person to have a clean record in that office or never have, done some shady stuff. I am looking for a person who looks at all of America and tries to move our country forward, a person that would give us hope and would give us a reason to feel good about ourselves. Barack did that in 2008.
Right.
And it tended to fall flat as time went on. Trump is starting the opposite. He is causing people to take pause and to be afraid, but maybe he will, as time goes on, give people hope. I'm just optimistic. I am cautiously optimistic.
Okay.
For sure. Underline all those letters and caution. But I'm optimistic because he started out so negative. Maybe he will.
See, and that's the problem I'm having with him. He threw every negative word out there, and he offended every racial group, practically every nation.
But that's what got him appeal because he was unashamed. He was unabashedly himself.
How do you come back today
and pull
say,
everybody together
exactly.
and kumbaya?
Well, can I tell you my fears? When he was debating, he talked about getting away from NATO. We don't need them. The things he talked about pushing a button for a nuclear weapon was nothing. That's my fears with them. Like the military, if you read it, they're scared. They're scared. They say this man is not capable. He thinks you can go in and just blow ISIS on the map. But my solution there is, and I'm speaking for me, having children, my kids will never fight this war. You use those people that felt this should happen.
Well,
let's see his sons go in there and fight that war.
Well,
he
know
never
how that's
fought.
going to
Right.
be. Exactly. But I'll tell you this. I think Donald Trump is a dangerous man. I don't think he has the best interests of this country. But it's all going to be hinged on the people that he surrounds himself with. Now, look at the people that helped him get to where he is in this campaign.
He's not going to help
It's a sorry
them.
group.
Yeah.
They
come
live
on.
in shacks a lot. He don't care about them.
They
Yeah.
are the establishment that he ran against.
Well, exactly.
right?
Exactly.
You know
So
what's
it's a
funny,
lot of-
though? I have a lot of young people in my Facebook, more young.
Mm-hmm.
These kids aren't going to sit back. This millennium generation are the type they're going to protest. They're not going to sit back.
Well,
And it's sad that they're not going, but I'm telling you right now, they're not going to sit back.
the real bottom line,
And it's scary.
the outcome of this election is the fact that 10 million people or more did not show up at the poll this time compared to 2012, and almost 15 million less than 08.
See?
So and then he woke up the silent majority, the angry, the fearful, the people that just was completely against what's going on right now. Never liked Obama. They don't like Hillary. They don't like the government. And he woke them up and walked them to the polls. And that, my friends, is what happened.
That's it in a nutshell.
Plain and simple. Now,
Sad thing is, they're going to continue to live in those little shacks and
well,
not
that's true.
care about them. They're not going to hire their wages.
You're right.
Anything, he wants to keep it the way it is. He don't feel people should be paid $15 an hour,
That's right. So
and they didn't pay attention to that.
So the people in all those red states understand that not one doggone thing is going to change in your life. Your life is still going to be the same. You're going to still need dental care. You're going to need health care. You're going to need to get that blue tarp off your shack that you're living in. Mitch McConnell, all those people in Kentucky that you got voting for you, what have you done for them?
Right.
What bacon did you bring home for them? How many jobs have you brought back to Kentucky, Mitch? And all the rest of these career politicians. And see, I'm for getting rid of all of them. I want to flush the toilet on every last one of them. Start fresh. Maybe some non-lawyers in the House and the Senate. Some everyday people.
Get rid of the lobbyists.
Absolutely. Mr. Trump, hear my voice. I didn't vote for you because I didn't trust you. But now you are going to be my president. Your job is to live up to all of those things that you ran on. Let me see you deliver that. And get rid of the lobbyists. You want to clean up that swamp you were talking about? You want to drain the swamp? Start with the swamp owners. Get rid of the lobbyists. Take that out. Make it illegal. If I was a disc jockey and I wanted to play a record and somebody wanted to give me $500 to play it, I'd lose my job and go to jail. What's the damn difference? What is the difference when doctors meet with the pharmaceutical representatives on a weekly basis? They bring them free drugs to give out to their patients. Then they send them on trips to very exotic places for meetings and conferences, free. What's the difference? So what's good for the goose has to be good for the gander.
Well, you know, a lot of wealthy people that I know, they only voted whether it was no matter who won on the Republican side because they don't want their taxes raised. I would hear all of them say that. And I go, but you don't even pay taxes half the time. You do write-offs. Us middle class pay. And I couldn't understand that. And then last night, I had people coming in saying, go out and kill all white people. It's like, why would you
No,
go out
that's
and kill
crazy.
all white people? You think white people all like him too? I go, it isn't about that. A man got voted in that I feel isn't capable of running this country. But I feel we have to sit back and let's see what he does.
Well, we have to. I mean, there's nothing else to do, but now he's got the job. You've been hired by the people in the United States of America, Mr. Trump. Now you have a job to do, whether you really wanted that job in the beginning or not. I still don't believe he ever thought he would get to where he is today.
I don't think so either.
I think he had a whole nother pimp game in mind.
But that gives me some peace, just that thought there, because everybody is fulfilling Scripture from my background.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's fulfilling it, from your Hitler to your Hillary, from your Pope to the Queen of England, from Kennedy to King. Everybody is fulfilling on some level Scripture. Donald Trump is now the leader of the free world for at least 4 years, we know, for
Right.
sure, unless something happens to him. Pray not. And so he's fulfilling a little part there, because see, that's why you can't really look at politics without looking at Scripture, because back in the beginning, the kings always had a pastor to go to and ask for advice, and then they would make up their mind. I mean, that's just the way it was. You had kings and prophets.
Right.
We don't think about that. We forget about that.
Yeah.
We don't include that anymore. And so he's going to fulfill the part of Scripture that sets the trajectory for the rest of time.
Yes.
Everybody did, from Stalin to Hitler to, the best ones around. And he's doing his little part, like Barack had to do his part. I mean, 40 years earlier from him getting nominated and becoming president, even Robert Kennedy said, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if in 40 years a Negro became president. And 40 years to the year, a
Yeah.
Negro, if
Yeah,
you will,
yeah.
became president. This thing is going on. You and I are just, lent on a sweater when it comes to the bigger, larger plan and purpose. What his piece will be, what his part will be, I don't know. But you said something about the citizens. I forgot the context in which you put it, but it struck a chord with me. Listen, I tell my friends, my followers, family, you are a citizen. You have power.
Absolutely.
Do not moan and complain that you don't like certain laws or you don't like certain congressmen. Get on the phone. Make a phone call. Tell them what you don't like. I mean, I don't like transgender bathrooms. I got on the phone and voted against that bill. You need to voice your opinion, whether you're for something or against something. Don't just sit and moan and complain, because believe it or not, Washington still does listen to phone calls. You can shut
Well,
them
they
down.
Well, they didn't listen
Yep.
to mine. I kept calling about
Well-
what they're doing to the Native Americans and never heard one word.
Well, and
But
that's,
now
that's
I know
a real
what's going
problem.
to happen. They're just going to move in.
Well, and I think that's part of the fear that a lot of people have.
Well,
that-
he had that investment in that, so.
Yeah, well,
But they say man will destroy himself. He will destroy the earth, and it's slowly happening.
Well, I'm going to take a phone call here. We got Joel on the line, who is one of our DJs, if you will, at our sister station, Hot 92.3 TheBeat.com. Joel, welcome back. Did we lose Joel? I think I held him too long. All right, we got Frankie. Frankie, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
So give me your reflections on the
Well,
outcome of the
after-
election.
Well, after everything that I've heard from all of you, the thing that sticks out the most on both sides was and is fear. And to put everything all in a pot and I would say something like the proof is in the pudding, okay? So everything that Donald Trump has said, and now he's saying different things because when he did his presidential speech, it was a different guy.
So how do you
And
think
that-
his supporters feel when they heard his acceptance speech? Do you think they're saying, well, wait a minute, homie? That's not what you said
I didn't hear it. Do you
last,
have it?
last
Oh
week.
yeah, no, he was a different guy. Literally,
Yeah.
Carol. It was like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde.
I couldn't
So-
watch it, Frankie.
Yeah, no, I watched it. I had to watch
I
it
couldn't
because
I
I
watch
agree
had
none
with
of
her.
it.
He was quite different, calm.
Well,
Yeah,
he's
he
got
was-
to be.
I mean, he
Well,
wasn't
yeah,
pushy.
he
He didn't have an ego, right, Frankie?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
he's a narcissist, so he's
Yeah, he is.
very good at doing that. I get that. And what bothers me about this whole election is, yes, he did. You're absolutely right. Is that he did feed upon the fears of people who didn't know what was really going on, had all these anger issues within themselves and how they felt about how the world was going, and wanted to point the finger at Obama and say, oh, well, he messed up. Well, let's get somebody like Trump because, having a Democrat or having a woman or, it's just, a lot of people weren't educated in what was really, really going on, and it's not about the president. Really isn't. I'm really not too worried because Donald Trump as president doesn't have all this power that everybody thinks that he does. He really doesn't. And I'm not going to sit there and worry my ass off and have anxiety and panic attacks because in all, we will band together. We will. We have to. Because if we don't, all our fears will come true. And we do need to band together. We need to shut up and just talk within amongst each other and not point fingers. Yes, he is a complete asshole, douchebag, racist, bigot, whatever, all these words. But he also is a human. And I'm, as you were saying earlier, being a devil's advocate, I am going to give him a chance. I am. I have to.
Well, yeah, we have no choice. We have to. Exactly.
We don't have a choice.
Right.
So it was without everybody getting angry and mad and this, and take that anger, take that fear, and do something about it.
You know what, Frankie? I agree. And the part that I want you and me and everyone else that's listening to be that do something about it part is watch the laws carefully. Watch the Senate bills before they become law, I should say. Well, keep your eye on the Senate bill. And then if you see something that is against your moral conscience or your economic conscience or whatever, then call your senators and tell them, hey, no, you better knock that thing down, or hey, yay, you better put that thing forward. But watch the Senate bills, because we have a say as the citizens. We have a power. Don't wait till the law passes and then get mad at the law.
Right.
Keep your eye from January 2017 to December 2020. Keep your eye on the Senate bills.
Yeah,
and keep your...
So my question is it okay then that he's a pedophile? We should just forget that.
Who says that, Carol? Where'd
Well,
you
that's
get
how
that
I
from?
feel. He should be put on trial.
I mean, what evidence is that he's a pedophile?
The girl got scared because he threatened her again.
It was a 13-year-old at the time.
His one friend saw her going to court right now. He was out of prison
that filed a lawsuit, and it was set to go to trial on December 16th.
That Trump perpetrated her?
Yes, yeah. She's an adult now, but she was 13-year-old. She was
How
13
old was
years
he?
old. Well, he was a grown man.
He was a grown
Oh
man.
yeah. It was maybe
he was
15,
a grown
20
That one
years
missed.
ago.
That passed right by me.
Well, see, but it didn't hit the news in a
they
major
kept
way.
that under the radar.
Exactly.
Haley?
Yes, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No worries. I'm not saying that I'm happy with what's going on at all, and I'm also saying that this is going to be the most yuckiest presidential. I have a feeling that a lot of people are not going to lay down. I get that, and a lot of people are angry. And yeah, he'll be convicted. I personally think I would not even be surprised at all if he's impeached. Not
You
even
know,
surprised.
it's funny, though. We dealt with Bush for how many years? And they're
8
very,
years.
very
Yeah.
similar. So
Well,
I think we can deal with him now.
I think Bush was quite different than this guy.
I don't know. He put us in war in Iraq.
Well,
I was
yeah.
over in the Middle East.
Yeah,
There were no weapons there.
Yeah, but his character wasn't as
No, it wasn't.
dark.
But I'm not going
as
to negate
Trump.
the fact that I am scared out of my Gore. I am, because he's the kind of person who will push that button without even thinking. So, yeah, I'm scared about that. I'm scared about him being somewhat the leader of the military.
Yeah.
Now he's talking. I mean, when I was listening to him talk about him being president, he really was. He was nice and calm and just saying a lot of awesome things about Hillary. And I was just looking at him going, oh my God. Like, oh my God. So my Facebook page is blowing up. Facebook in general is blowing up. The Canadian immigrant sites are gone.
Yeah.
They shut them down.
They didn't shut it, blew out. I have friends living there.
Oh, I personally
I'm looking
think,
for a
no,
husband
no, no,
in
no.
Canada.
I personally think they shut them down because they don't want to deal with it. They don't have drama over there as we do.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have drama. We do. We're dealing with drama right now. So I wouldn't be surprised if they shut them down, not because they just blew up. They shut them down. They're like, we don't want to deal with this. No.
Frankie, let me ask you something, and even you, Lee and Carol. A Clinton presidency, what would that have meant to you?
For me?
No,
What-
go ahead, Frankie. You go, and then
Oh,
Carol,
okay.
then I'll answer last.
Okay. Well, here's how I looked at it, because every person that I've talked to that did not want to vote for Hillary or Trump, this is the two answers I got, because they did not trust Hillary, and they did not want a racist, bigot person who would take everybody's rights away. So I'm thinking, okay, you don't trust her, but you don't want this guy in here either. Nobody trusts politicians, you morons. That's the point.
Yeah,
that's
but
the
I'm
game.
curious, if she had won, I assume that
I
you
would
were
be happy.
Well, right. And what I'm saying is, what would be your reasons for being happy? What would that have meant for you?
I do trust her to back the fact that she will do her best with racism, to the LGBT community, she will support. I never heard anything that Trump said that he would support anything at all.
You know, I'm curious that you
She said she would support, and I believe that, because in the 30 years that she has done what she has done, she shows, like I said in the beginning of the conversation, the proof is in the pudding. She has shown support. He has not. So I would have been happier with somebody who I know has their track record literally is support. His track record is gimme, gimme, gimme. Her track record is support, regardless of whether the emails or if you don't trust her or blah, bitty, blah. Her track record was way, way different than his. And his is not support. His was bashing. His was, I don't even want to get into it because I'll start crying.
The thing that puzzles me the most is the kind of negativity that he ran on, and some of the statements he made that
Well,
offended.
it's because America's angry.
Yeah.
Yeah, they showed that 43% or 42% were dissatisfied with the direction,
Right.
and 23% were just outright angry.
Right. So when you put that
And he
together, it's the
spoke to that.
majority.
But
Yeah.
you know what, you guys? I have friends that are from Egypt, and there were people we never even knew about, like groups like my friend from Egypt this morning told me there is a whole group of Christian Egyptians that were voting for him because they didn't like Hillary because they felt she supported ISIS before. There were a lot of forgotten people that none of us knew about that were voting for him. They just kept quiet.
That's right. I
And
tell you.
that's what she was
The
telling me
quiet
this
and
morning.
unafraid.
And she said the only thing we can do now is have to deal with it. And we can get up and fight in different ways where we try to stop things. Because when you ask, what was your question again?
What would a Hillary Clinton presidency mean to you?
I can't say I just wanted a woman president because it wasn't that. I think my fears were listening to him talk. So that's why I wanted to vote for her. If he had even been a Democrat, I wouldn't have voted Democrat. It was just him I wanted to stay away from because I listened to his debates and it was almost frightening, especially when he talks about the nuclear. He would give up any of our secrets, and him and this Putin guy are best friends, it seems like.
Oh, yeah.
So he
Putin did call and give.
yeah, he frightens me in
Congratulations.
that way. And to sit and fool these people, I don't call them deplorables. I just call them people that don't have money, and a lot of them live in shacks, and they sit outside and they use that dirty word that I don't like, and they walk around with guns. He has those people thinking he's going to do something for them. The only thing he's hoping they can do for him is fight people that are going to go up against what he wants. Because to me, that's what's following him, ignorance. People that really didn't pay attention to what he says when he debates, because debating is what scared me. When I listened to him talk, he doesn't want NATO. If we don't have allies, does he think we can fight the whole world?
Yeah, well, he believes that
He's a narcissist.
and he wants to spend a lot more money on military. Who does that appeal to? Big business. Because the military doesn't manufacture the boats and the tanks and the cars.
Do.
Yeah, exactly. So all of their rich friends, they can
He
do
told
these
you
contracts
that.
with.
When he was debating, his words were, I don't want to raise taxes on wealthy. We're going to build businesses and that, if you listen to what he was saying.
Oh, absolutely.
So that was his plan all along.
I want to know how many people heard this statement out of his mouth. I can go in Times Square and shoot somebody, and y'all will still follow me.
Yep.
I mean, what does that mean? That means you are some dumbasses, and I can do anything and get away with it because you are stupid.
Listen.
And he said that before he even ran. The Republicans are the most, what was it?
Exactly. He said they're idiots.
Idiots. Exactly.
He said if I were to run for president, I would run as a Republican because Republicans are a bunch of idiots and they believe anything you tell them.
Well, he was 100% correct.
And he used to be a Democrat, mind
Absolutely.
you.
So
I think the Democrat in him is
pimped.
going to show up. Mark my word. I believe you're going to have another show somewhere,
Well, that's
mid-season.
why-
The Democrat in Trump is going to show up.
I don't
It's
know.
going to piss the Republicans off.
But see, if that happened, he will be in the same position that Barack was in.
Yeah.
They're not going to work with him. If he comes with a
He
bunch of
doesn't
liberal
care. Like
ideas.
Frankie said, he's a narcissist. He does
Yeah.
not care. He's incapable of caring
And
about
why
somebody
not?
else.
Why stop Obamacare? Why not just fix it?
because
do what
that wouldn't-
Obama really wanted, where everybody got affordable insurance.
But that's not what
He doesn't
the
want that.
haters wanted to hear. He said exactly what would hit the nerves of the uninformed, the scared,
Right.
stupid people. I gotta say it.
The low informed. How
60%
about that?
of the white females are uneducated that voted for him. The same
Well,
percentage for males. White,
I mean, I asked about
uneducated.
Yeah, I
Well,
was
they-
shocked at how many white women voted for him. I was shocked. They
Because
gave you a
here's the thing:
percentage.
despite how abrasive he is and how disrespectful he has been
Mm-hmm.
in the things that he said to women, they were willing to overlook that for the many things that they feel that they should have a right to be angry about. The jobs leaving America. Yes, hello, I'm angry about that
He's
too.
one of
Yeah.
the biggest outsourcers.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, but he's talking about even trade or some sort of even trade,
Sounds
right?
good. Good luck. Here's the thing.
Democrats didn't change that either, Lee.
No, they didn't. They
Barack
didn't.
was in
That's what I'm
office for
saying.
8 years, and it still was the same.
And that's why I'm saying good luck with that. It ain't going to work because it's not in the best interest of the people who are doing that trade, which is big business.
Right. Wall
So
Street.
yeah. So here's the other thing too, folks. I haven't heard anybody talk about, and let me ask it as a question. Do you think America was ready for a female president? Were there people
I
that
think
were
they
not
were.
ready for that?
It was just the wrong female. Yeah.
No,
I
I
think
don't
that
think it
I
was-
think by now, 2016, we were ready, but it was the wrong female.
I think there's a lot of guys out there, and I've had these conversations with guys. So, man, I don't want no damn female as a president.
Why? We can
No.
do everything
that
that they
blows
can't
me
do.
away when
Life
I
is
hear that.
imitating art. If you think back in the year 2001, 24, the TV show came on, and they slowly started introducing a black president in their episodes, right?
Right,
I thought that was interesting. It was the first time that ever happened.
right.
We ended up getting a black president. I'm not trying to simplify this. I'm just trying to show you that there is a part of of life
Yeah.
that does imitate art. Then
Well, yeah,
you got
movies were having black presidents.
movies
too.
were starting to have black presidents. Movies are now starting to have female presidents. That's why I really thought that probably Hillary would pull it off. I think maybe in 2020 there's going to be a female candidate.
And who might that be? You got to have somebody in the bullpen.
I would like Obama's wife.
No, she
Me,
won't do
I'll
it.
do it.
I don't think
She
so.
I'll
loathes
run for it. I'll run
politics.
for president.
No, she isn't going to do it
You
now.
got my vote.
No.
She's going to enjoy her life now.
I think that's at least those are the signs that I'm seeing.
Yeah, they're moving to Rancho Mirage.
Well,
So-
I mean, well, the other thing that is kind of disconcerting too. I know that the popular vote went with Clinton. That's why I say yes, we were ready for a woman president, whether it's Hillary or somebody else. I know you think it's a different woman, but I think a lot of us wanted some kind of positive change. But the majority apparently are dumbass morons. But anyways, I'm going to be beaten for that statement. I just go back to the whole thing of me just, we don't have a choice in the matter at this point, but we do have power, whether we believe it or not, we do.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to be scary. The next 4 years are going to be scary. I think a lot of depression will go up, to be quite honest.
Well,
Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do.
tell us, Brother Lee.
I'm going to buy me a piece of land and put a factory on it. I'm going to grow some marijuana.
That's what I was thinking, that land I have in Vegas.
I don't know if you can do it in Vegas yet, but I'm gonna grow me some weed, and I'm gonna be like the fat cats.
Exactly.
And
Everybody
I'll
on
be
Facebook
waiting.
is saying that.
I'll be
Don't
waiting for Philip Morris to come in and buy me out because you know damn well they're gonna go into the weed business as soon as it's legal in every state.
Oh, they're
Trust me
already,
when I
they're
tell you.
already ready to go.
Oh yeah, they're
But
ready.
you know, I have something to say nobody's talking about. We have 4 women of color that have made it into the Senate and that right now. And we have a lady, she's Muslim, Somalian. She made it somewhere. So
Excellent.
there
Tell us who
was
they
some
are.
progress.
Absolutely, there's growth. We have another caller on the line. Welcome to the Lee Michaels Show. Who do we have?
Hi, Lee. It's Spy Boy.
Spy Boy.
Where
How
have
you
you
doing?
been?
I've been hiding under a rock.
How are you feeling?
I had my moments.
Yeah, I always ask about you.
She does every other day. She says, "Have you heard from Spy Boy?" I said, "No, I haven't."
Hi, Spy Boy, whoever you are.
Hi, how are you?
So,
I'm a little freaked out.
so Spy
But-
Boy,
but
give
don't-
us your
don't be.
you give us your reflections here the day after the election day.
Well, I find I'm listening to the conversation, and you guys are falling into the same trap that was set in order to get Trump elected in the first place, which is delusional thinking.
Okay.
I heard one person say that she trusted Hillary. Now, how many times do you have to lie to you before you call a liar a liar?
Well, I think what it came down to, and I hear what you're saying, and I've heard that from a lot of people. But I think it's a level of what's important to you as an individual. So if I despise someone who is disrespectful towards women, who appears to be a horrible business person in terms of business ethics, and who is self-centered, a little scary, and does a lot of negative comments while he's campaigning, then maybe that's enough for someone to say, no, that's not the person for me. Now, when you look at Hillary and the negativity that she has over her head, so a person will have to weigh out what's most important to them. And you can't make a blanket statement and say, well, the Benghazi thing and the email thing, which, folks, by the way, there still has not been any incriminating evidence. Not yet. That's not to say that something won't come out. We don't know. We don't know what we don't know. But what we do know, what seems very clear to me, that there were some shenanigans with Rudy Giuliani and the head of the FBI. They had a working relationship. Rudy went on TV 2 days before he came back and said, we found some new evidence. Rudy said, in a couple of days, you're going to get something new is going to come out. Set that on Fox TV. And then the day before the election, they come back and say, April Fool, we were just joking. We didn't find anything. So, folks, I mean, I don't like conspiracy, but these are facts. These events occurred.
And Rudy Giuliani is in charge of exactly what?